G'day aquarists, I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest developments in our new store at Salisbury. We're going to have a look at the new display tanks, what we've done with the systems, and exactly where we're at with getting this new shop open to the public. Probably the biggest development that we've made over the last week or two is that we finally got our first freshwater system up and running. And it's this one here. We're going to be running it separate from the other freshwater tanks in the store so that we can ensure that we have the perfect conditions for these type of fish. They're going to be hard water fish, African cichlids, fish that like a higher pH than the rest of the freshwater fish that we've got. Now, we have a few bits and pieces, African cichlids, just to get this tank cycling. I want to show you the filtration and the plumbing for this system in a second, but you can see that it's going well so far. We don't have the lights on the system, and we do have a couple of canister filters which we're using just to help establish the system and cycle it. So, our next system over here is going to be plumbed tomorrow, and we'll have water in all of our freshwater tanks in the next, well, hopefully the next week. Let's have a look behind the tanks at the filtration systems. We have two freshwater systems in this shop, and the first one that we were just looking at that we've actually got the fish in already is filtered by this sump and overhead trickle filter. Now, it's a huge amount of wet-dry trickle media. And the reason for this is that because we don't have huge numbers of tanks or huge volumes of tanks, it's very important that we can absolutely pack the fish into each of the tanks that we've got. It's also important that we can maintain the best quality water for these fish. So having a large, oversized filtration system is really going to be the key to the success of all of these tanks. Now, this is our second filtration system. We haven't fully plumbed this one up yet. That's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to have this IBC as the sump for our soft water systems. And the water will feed into the sump, and it's going to be pumped up onto a massive overhead trickle filter. So really, I look at this other one as being quite large, but this one is huge. We've got it sitting on a board. We're going to plumb it up with its own dedicated pump tomorrow, and we'll be able to put thousands of wet-dry bioballs into this tank, this overhead trickle filter, so that we've got really, really good water chemistry for our fish. Now, this will allow us to have a large volume of fish, but it will also allow us to have fish that are relatively messy feeders. Hopefully we'll have things like freshwater stingrays. We've got that big trigrinus catfish. We'll have discus, and it won't be, and having fish like that shouldn't impact too heavily on the water chemistry with a filtration system like this. So it's definitely going to be one of the secrets to the success of our soft water system. Let's go have a look at the rest of the store because we have made some other developments. We haven't really done a lot with our coral system. That's definitely on the books for tomorrow. We're going to hopefully plumb it up and get it to the point that we can fill it. But we have made a couple of other developments. We've moved our Dimax stands over here. We haven't finished putting them together, but it has created the perfect amount of space to walk through. It also means we're going to be able to have uninterrupted shelving basically from the back left of the shop all the way around to here. So we'll have lots of space for dry stock. But probably the thing that's most exciting is that we have two new display tanks for the store. The first is this Waterbox LX, and let's just have a bit of a look at it. It's in here. Wow, this is so cool. So this is going to be our saltwater display tank, and this tank is going to have its own YouTube series. Haven't thought of a name for it yet. I definitely have some ideas. We have a new form of nutrient export system at Gallery Aquatica Wynnum that I'm very excited to try on this tank. I'm also planning on getting Shed Boy to do his excellent aquascaping on this system. But we're going to take you through each step of the whole process of setting up this tank. And I didn't realise it was going to be this big. Looking at it now, we've got so much space that we're going to really be able to do something special with this tank. I think I know where I'm going to put it in the store, but not 100% sure yet. We have the cabinet still on the pallet out the back. We're going to bring that in tomorrow, hopefully, and get this set up, but we'll take you through each of the steps along the way. So this is really an exciting project. But this is only one of the two big display tanks that we're going to have at Gallery Aquatica Salisbury. Let's have a look at the other one on the other side of the store. I think almost everyone knows how much we love the Cade tanks, and we've set up quite a few over the last few weeks and months, and we've even done a couple of videos on the installation of these beautiful tanks. But this is going to be our freshwater display tank. It's a Cade 1500 Peninsula, and it's going to go where we've got this temporary fiberglass pond, and it's going to be the first thing you see as you walk into the store. This tank on the left hand side, it's going to be a planted tank. Now, because the Cade Peninsula tanks are rimless, we're going to be able to have our large bits of driftwood coming up, breaking the water surface. We'll have suspended lights over this tank so that we can have the plants coming up and growing up out of the tank. It's really exciting. We haven't done anything quite like this before at a store of Gallery Aquatica. You might recall we have one freshwater display tank, Jake's Jungle, which is a peninsula, which will be airing quite soon, but this will certainly be something special. And even though it is a system designed for marine tanks, we're going to convert it to work for a freshwater planted system. I really can't wait to do this tank. And we'll be doing a series on this tank, showing you exactly how we convert this Cade Marine Peninsula to be a freshwater planted tank. Can't wait. Let's have a look at the rest of the store. We'll do a bit of a lap around. We have made a few other changes. I think the big story about the whole setup of this new LFS in Salisbury is going to be the fact that it has taken us forever. And we really had been planning on being in the store and open to the public a lot sooner, but for a variety of reasons we have been slowed down, and it's going to be great to finally have the store open. Now, on Sunday, it's the second state of origin. We're hoping to have the store set up enough to the point that we can open up on the 21st of August. And we've picked that date because we are hoping to be going to reef stock. At the moment, Sydney is experiencing an outbreak of COVID, and we're really up in the air as to whether or not reef stock is even going to happen. However, we're planning on opening 2 weeks after the reef stock event, and so that will give us enough time to have our displays, display tanks and other displays well and truly ready for our opening day. And the best example of that is our mister wall. Now, this has already been set up for a number of months, and I've spoken to Tom about this. This is really Tom's baby. He set this up, and he's explained that with the moss on the squares, it does take a while for them to become established, but once they get to a point that they start to wick the water through the foam, that the moss does take off more quickly. And so I think we've kind of got to that point, because you can see a lot of these mosses are actually accelerating with their growth, and by the time we open, August 21st, I think you'll find that this will be a completely solid wall of moss. And we are even toying with the idea of selling individual squares. We're probably going to sell one here and there because we don't want to display the overall, ruin the overall display. But you can see that the mosses are really coming along nicely. I think it was the perfect choice for a display tank in this spot. Really, we toyed with the idea of what we're going to put here, but I think this is absolutely perfect. We've got our mister coming on a timer, so it comes on a few times a day, but it's a beautiful display and something that's very unique to our new Gallery Aquatica at Salisbury. We do have another display which we've already set up, so let's have a look at our Paludarium. So the Paludarium is coming along beautifully. As you can see, we've got the moss growing well on the background, and this tank was also set up right at the beginning when we first signed the lease for our new store. And so it was really advantageous to allow it to become established so that when we open to the public in August, it'll really be looking beautiful and lush. You can certainly see that it's a beautiful little scape, and Tom has done really well to get this to where it is. But certainly by August, I think it'll be even better. So I'm really looking forward to showing this off to the public when we open the store. So, as you can see, we have heaps of work to do at our new store, Gallery Aquatica Salisbury. We've got a massive mess in here of the office. We have systems to plumb. We've got cladding to put on. We've still got 2 display tanks that we haven't even started yet. But it's coming together, and we've set ourselves the date of August 21 so that we can definitely ensure that there's a big push and a drive for us to get this shop open to the public. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. I'm Cam the Fish Guy. Happy fish keeping.